8.2 Linear equations in two variables. The objective of this lesson is to find solutions of equations in two variables. Vocabulary. Equation in two variables can be represented by this equation we have right here. 2x minus y equal to 5. The solution of an equation in two variables is when you have an ordered pair xy and produces a true statement when the values, which means numbers, of x and y are substituted into the equation. So if I give you an ordered pair such as 0, 4, and I have you sub 0 for x and 4 for y, and to check if it equals to the other side of the equation, which happens to be negative 8, and if they don't equal to each other, then 0, 4 is not a solution of an equation. Okay, and if I give you negative 2, negative 1, and you sub negative 2 for x, negative y for y, then if 3 times negative 2 equal to negative 6, plus 2 times negative 1, which equals to negative 2, equals to negative 8, then yes, negative 2, negative 1 is a solution of an equation. To graph an equation in two variables just means the set of points in a coordinate plane that represent all the solutions of the equation. So right now I'm going to teach you how to graph an equation using random points. This is not a very smart way, but for the purpose of this lesson, you will need to use this method. Okay. First, I'm going to give you a linear equation. A linear equation just means an equation whose graph is a line. Okay, we will be working with linear equations throughout this chapter. Okay, right now I have picked 3 random x values, or what we called input and output. So if I sub 0 into this equation, 2 times 0 is 0, minus 1, I get negative 1. Y equals to negative 1. That's where I got this point. 0, negative 1 will be one ordered pair. If I sub in 1 into x, I would get y equal to 1. Okay? If I sub in negative 1 into x, I would get negative 3 as my y value. And here we have the points. Negative 1, negative 3, 0, negative 1, and 1, 1. Connect the dots. Okay? Technically, you only need 2 points. But to be more accurate, it would be nice to have 3. Okay. Linear function just means a function whose graph is a non-vertical line. Okay, remember in 8.1, function just means for every input there is exactly one output. The input, the value of x, cannot repeat. Okay, and linear, if we add the word linear, it just means an equation whose graph is a line, and together this makes an equation which is a function. Okay, so for linear function, y equals 2x minus 1, the graph will look like this. If you plot 3 random points, you should get that graph. And if you get a function represented as y equals 3, then to graph this, we would count 3 to 3 on the y-axis, label the point 0, 3, okay, and draw a horizontal line through the point 0, 3, and label the graph as y equals 3. And as you can notice here, this graph is parallel to the x-axis, and there's no x in this equation of the line. In this case, you do not need to plot any points. And let me show you when a graph is not a function. That's when it's vertical. So if I give you x equals negative 2, then you can go to the x-axis. This is the x-axis. Go to -2, 0, and draw a vertical line parallel to the y-axis. And by the vertical line test, it's very obvious that this equation of the line is not a function. So this is not a linear function, okay? So this is a function, not a function. Fn for function. Okay. To write an equation of a linear function in function form, we need to solve for y. So if I give you 3x plus y equals 7, which is not in function form, I need to write this in terms of x. So subtract 3x to both sides, and you will need to write negative 3x in the front. I will explain why when we get to a later lesson. So what if the equation comes with a negative y? Okay, subtract 3x to both sides, do the same thing. You get negative y equals negative 3x plus 7. Okay, and you notice that there's a negative here. We cannot have a negative there. This part needs to be a positive 1. Okay, positive 1. Cannot have a fraction either. Okay, and how do we change that? Just divide everything by negative 1. Y 3x minus 7. Okay, this is function form. Function form is y equals to everything else. Positive y. Has to be 1, 2. Okay, positive 1y. Positive 1y. You do not need to write the positive 1. Guided practice. Tell whether the ordered pair is a solution of 3x plus 2y equals negative 8. So we sub in 4 for x and negative 12 for y. We get, let's see if they equal to each other. 12 minus 24 equals negative 8. So obviously this is not equal to each other. No. So just write no. And for the next one, same thing. Sub in 10 for x plus 2 times negative 19, which equals negative 8. 30 minus 38. Oh, negative 8 equals negative 8. Yes. Okay, graph the equation. When x is 0, I'm picking a random point, y is 3. When x is 1, y is 2. When x is negative 1, y is 4. And we can just plot. 0 to 3, 1 to 2, and then we have negative 1 to 4. Okay. Here we have when x is 0, y is negative 4. When x is 1, y is negative 1. When x is negative 1, then we have negative 7. Oh, that's a big number. So 0, negative 4, 1, negative 1, and then negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and here again, 0. Don't worry about the order. I don't care for this in this case. 0, 1, we use negative 2. Negative 2. If I put negative 2 here, I cancel, and I get negative 1 plus 1, 0, and I can put 2, 2. Okay? And then 0, 1, 2, 2. Draw your line. Okay, through the points. Okay, graph y equals -1. Notice, this equation of the line, or linear function, does not have an x value. You might be wondering, then how do we graph it? So recall from your notes earlier, when you see a function with y equal to a number, all you have to do is go to the point 0, -1, the y on the y-axis, okay, and draw a horizontal line. Okay, and this is a function. Is it a function? Yes. And what happens if it's x equal to 4? Remember, when it's x equal to 4, it's a vertical graph. Look at this example back here. This one right here. Okay? So this graph needs to go through the point 4, 0 for sure. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 0. Let me go back here. This is 0, -1. This point. I'm going to have to draw a vertical line through the point 4, 0. Okay. Is it a function? No, because the line is vertical. Okay. No. Okay, one more. Write 2x minus 3y in function form. So I'm going to do it right here. 2x minus 3y equals to 3 in function form. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. And then I can cancel out this negative 2x and 2x on the left hand side. And you take down negative 3y. I'm going to write negative 2x in the front. And because 3 is positive, I'm going to write positive 3. And then, remember I told you that we need to make this coefficient a positive 1? So in this case, we need to divide negative 3 to every single term in the equation of the line. So this would be y equals 2/3 x, positive, negative, negative, 3 divided by 3, 1. And that will be our function form for 2x minus 3y equals 3. Okay? And to graph this, I could pick 3 random points. When x is 0, y is -1. When x is -3, okay, if I plug in -3 here, then I would get -3. And if I plug in positive 3, it will be 1. So let's graph this. This is -3, -3, 0, -1, and then 3, 1. And that's our graph. And that's it.